big chances for some of those fringe players tonight. And Sean, the Blues psychologically damaged by their last Pro 12 outing against the Ospreys, but they've kind of resurrected their season with 2 handsome wins in Europe.
Yeah, they were shocked by the Ospreys' performance and embarrassed a little bit, but Danny Wilson and his men are doing a lot of positive things here as well at the Blues, and in the last 2 weeks they've really got selection right in Europe. I think when you're a coach of a Welsh region, 2 things: you need your home form to get the crowd behind you, and in Welsh derbies you need to win the majority of those games to get your board members and the fans and your players on side and build into the season. So they do some good things here as well.
It's going to be a big one tonight. The Blues did the 25-30 minutes. We said before the game, you know, with all those missing internationals, this might lack some of the intensity of a derby. Far from it.
And I think the crowd is bringing a lot to it as well, Ross. Fantastic energy here at the Arms Park. And credit to the Scarlets, they came out on fire. They probably sniffed a possibility of an upset here and caught the Blues napping. Their forwards have been great. Ryan Elias has been fantastic. And in loose play, they've been on top, so that's why they're leading.
Just to back up what Sean says there, because it's more or less a full house, the atmosphere is bouncing. Trust me, as a player, you feed off that as well. You can tell from the start. It's been scrappy. It hasn't been perfect rugby from a coach's point of view, but again, high intensity. You know, and it's brilliant to watch. It's been a brilliant advert.
And we heard from the parents of the Shingler brothers, both pretending they weren't supporting the Scarlets tonight. I think we all saw through that. They'd have been delighted when older brother Aaron burrowed his way over. What a great finish.
Yeah, and Wayne Pivac would have been delighted technically with how they executed the try. A bit of coach's jargon here, but look at the carries. A nice step from Ryan Elias, but look, we say he falls out. He presents the ball on the outside. Makes it difficult for the Jacklet to come on the inside. Hadley Parks fights to fall out. Ends up pushing it through his legs, but the principle is the same. Next carry, it's a forward this time. They latch on to Kruger. He falls outside. There's no nailed on Jacklet other than Lee Lowe here tonight. And then the last carry, you know, it's Shingler gets himself into position and he's aiming on that outside as well. Fights to get over. It's a fantastic technical and well constructed try.
Yeah, I think the Blues
within a few minutes, gone over again. Jonathan Evans running a great supporting line for that try.
Yeah, but you've got to credit DTH Van der Merwe. And I said, you know, in derbies you've got to really quieten the crowd down. But what's DTH here now? He finds himself from the set piece in some sort of move, but it's the separation between these 2 first forwards in defence. There's a large gap there, and Van der Merwe sniffs this. Now, Thomas Williams, the scrum half, should really be in the boot, but from the line out, he's left short on the short side, so it covers that. Van der Merwe sniffs that. It's a great support line from the scrum half, as you want from all scrum halves. And again, an all-opportunist try, but superbly taken.
He's making a bit of an impact, John. Should we be applauding the awareness of the attacking sides or questioning the defence?
Well, a little bit of both. You know, a lot of credit goes to the defensive side. Just have a look here, Ross, where Tom James comes from. He's in that tackle area in support. They've turned the ball over. He tracks back. Now, he could really panic here and spot that, but he reads it, he waits. That's probably a little bit too much space taken up by that ball carrier, and he takes his opportunity. And I have to say, he's come a long way and got his reward. And then this one, I think, again, DTH needs to be applauded because he could easily rush up. He recognises where his fullback is in the space, draws him up, doesn't panic, and what that does, it regathers the Scarlets defensive line. It now is no longer a massive overlap, and they read it well. I thought Alex Thomas would go all the way, but he knows now he doesn't have the legs.
But how many times have you seen Alex Thomas? If he misses the interception, it's 7 points the other way. He was outnumbered, he's gambled, and his gamble's paid off, and that was a massive turning point in the game. And Sean will tell you, as a backline, as a scrum half, that makes so much difference, and they definitely won that in the first 20-25 minutes.
You can't just turn up in these games and you've got a big crowd and you're at home and we've won 2 in Europe. You can't get complacent. You cannot allow that in a derby match. The Scarlets have sniffed something, they've come, they've started the better, and it's a long way back now for the Blues.
It's not just the front foot stuff from the Scarlets. We've seen some real heroic defensive efforts there, and I'm thinking about the ball bring tackled to prevent that certain try, and Will Boyd at the end when Matthew Morgan looked for all the world like he'd wriggled over. That's 2 tries saved that could have brought the Blues back level.
Yeah, it is, and you've got to stay in the game when you're the away side. You know, you talk about smash and grabs as coaches, but they've got themselves a lead now. They can't sit back on this because the Blues are going to come. Yeah. They need to have their moments again and take the next chance. They can't just sit back because the home team will come at them with the crowd. So, you know, if they keep playing as they are, then, you know, they've got a chance.
Very well worth a watch, that Sam Davis. Fantastic interview, really modest, humble and ambitious young man, someone you know well. And the Ospreys face the Dragons tomorrow, as we just saw, and there's a certain Josh Matavesi, a fly half, because both Dan and Sam are in Wales Cup. Did you expect maybe one of them would be released for that Ospreys game?
No, I didn't. Much the same as Sam Morvan and Ellis Jenkins for the Blues. I think a training session was planned for Wales tomorrow, so you know, Rob Howley wouldn't want to risk too many players going into next week's huge game, and it goes back to Jiffy's point about why we're having these games the week before. But you know, Josh Matavesi played out at half against Wales a couple of years ago, so he's played international rugby at 10. He should be okay.
Yep, he's got the job. Hadley Parks, their winning captain. Martin mentioned it, the breakdown, real superiority by the end of that game from the Scarlets. I guess you could argue the Blues under the cosh because they didn't have a 7 to pick.
Well, maybe Josh Turnbull had a good half in the first half, but they were just at that contest all night, and they carried well in the first half, Elias and co. But around that sort of defensive breakdown, they were insatiable. And when James Davis came on, he went up a notch again. Some crucial turnovers, unlucky not to get a few more. You know, he tracked back on this one, got to his feet because he was the tackler, deemed not to be a ruck, and played the ball. That was a crucial moment because it was a great break. This is another turnover, you know, they're looking to hold him up, come through the ruck. Look how many people have flooded through, and the Blues just were there a little bit slower and a little bit too high, and it was the story of the night.
I think sometimes, Ross, we make too much of not having a 7. It's a team effort, and it wasn't just, Will Boyd and James David, you know, an experts in that area, but what they did as a team, you know, see Rory and Elias getting over the centres like Hadley Parks, DTH, you know, as a winger, he attacks contact areas. So I just think generally as a team, they were a lot hungrier and a lot more efficient in the contact area.
And I think that was reflected in the penalty account, because sometimes I think the Blues would have had a lot more penalties against them. At Martin, we're playing 7 for him tonight. But, you know, sometimes when you're at it at that contest a lot more, you do give a few more penalties away. And the Blues didn't take the opportunities they had from the line-out and the drives and the scrum in the first half, which was a bit of a debacle because the referee lost control of the game at that point.
Well, I don't want to dwell too much. I've come for finishes like this. Have a look at this Blaine Scully try again. This is amazing.
Well, for those at home that don't understand the law here, you know, the winger owns the corner flag. It's a lovely floated pass coming up, the old bounce pass, if you would like that one. But he gets in the air for a reason. He practiced this. He gets the ball down with both legs in the air, which hits the corner flag, but it's his. He's not in touch. Fantastic finish.
And chance of USA.
Yeah,
USA
it was like the Ryder Cup from a couple of weeks ago, wasn't he? He's a bit of a cult hero already, Blaine Scully. He's made a really good impact the last year or so since he's come in, and that was a wonderful, wonderful finish.
Yeah, so put aside the disciplinary issues and the fact that some of those refereeing decisions were a little bit questionable, not least the Aaron Shingler yellow card. Put that to one side. What a game for the Pro 12.
Well, we're trying to nugget just before we come on now, and that's the 3rd Welsh derby this year in the Pro 12, and they've all been fantastic. You get another one tomorrow, and nobody can have any qualms. Added to by the crowd here tonight. Fantastic. When I turned up, I thought, I had sort of shivers down my. It reminded me of derbies when I was coaching, and that's what the players want, the coaches want, and I'm sure the fans, despite the defeat, have lost touch.
Absolutely well said, Sean. Thanks for your company tonight. To Martin, to the boys in the commentary box as well. It has been a superb Welsh derby here tonight. Congratulations to the Scarlets. Revenge from last season. Ospreys Dragons tomorrow. See you then.